All right, coming to the meanings of the words. We have been saying citation, referencing quite a lot. So, what do they really mean, right? Now, referencing, first of all, can be anything under the umbrella. You're giving reference to anything whatsoever in any circumstance, is what referencing is. Like you're denoting something, you are acknowledging something in any manner whatsoever, that is referencing. Citation is slightly specific way of telling the reader that you have read whatever you have written or acknowledged or you are bringing into the picture is not from your mind, but rather from a different source. Footnote is something, is a note which is printed at the foot of the paper, as it is suggested. But it can be used as a source of citation, whereby you give due acknowledgement for additional information. Endnote is something which is printed at the end of the paper when you're writing a paper. But when you're writing a book, it could appear at the end of the chapter as well as at the end of the entire book. So it depends on the publisher or the writing style of the publisher that you are trying to reach out to, right? So this is an example of footnote. There you go. So you see footnote, the notes till 12 on this page, and all the footnotes will appear on the same page only. Now this number could have been 10, 12, 15, whatever the total number had to be, but this will appear at the foot of the paper. Sometimes it might so happen that there will only be a couple of lines on a page, and then everything else will be in the footnote. Just see, like half the page is covered with footnotes. So all of that is completely fine. It is completely what the topic demands based on that. Now, if you look at this is the example of a book. Now see, footnote number 1, footnote number 2, footnote number 3, not footnote, this is endnote example because there's nothing at the end of the foot. So this is the example of an endnote. Now there is a chapter going on, different topics going on. There are notes which are attached, but everything comes at the end of the chapter. So one to all at one place. So all of this is an example of endnotes. Okay. Now, in-text citation, something which is, not very well known. 1 second. And I'll show you the example. Now, it is not very well known in the lawyer community for a reason, because in legal community, in-text citations are not that popular, to be very honest. Okay, this is expired, but you might have seen all those, sometimes you might have read a social science article where, you'll find the name of the author written and the year of publication written in the bracket itself. And the details are in the bibliography towards the end of the paper. So that is the example of in-text citation. Now, finally coming to bibliography. So bibliography is finally an accumulation of all the resources and sources that you have used and putting them at the end of the paper. Now you will ask that then what's the difference between endnotes and bibliography? So it's pretty much the same thing content-wise. The only difference is bibliography is arranged in a specific manner, in alphabetical manner. And you'll ask then what's the use of it when we are already providing footnotes. So sometimes footnotes will be repetitive. Same goes for endnotes. Endnotes will be repetitive. So for instance, if the same source is being used 10 times in a paper, which is 10 pages long, you will have to denote it in the footnote or the endnote. But in bibliography, it will just come once and the reference to the page numbers will be shown against the source. So it is important that you attach a bibliography to all of your writing piece and make it a habit, because it becomes very easy for the readers to peruse this bibliography and reach at a conclusion at which all sources you have used. And they can use it and go through it in an alphabetical manner. So it becomes easy for them. So for example, I was just giving you this instance where I was talking about Mark Tashnet's writing. So let's say if your bibliography is there, the reader can directly go to bibliography, and usually, generally, the style in which bibliography follows is that you write the surname of the author first and then the name. So it's going to be Tushnet, comma mark. That's how it's going to be represented in the bibliography. Any reader can just directly go to the T because it's going to be arranged in an alphabetical manner. So they can directly go to the T and see whether you have in fact used Tushnet's writing or not. It becomes easier for you as a reader, right? Otherwise, they'll have to flip through an entire, let's say, 200-page article or a 300-page book or whatever the case is. It's very difficult to figure it out. So that's why bibliography is important, despite having citations in any other form, be it a footnote or an endnote. So be mindful to have bibliography handy, and sometimes they are demanded by specific publishers.